I mean, Oscar said it himself. I mean, he lost the race at the start. He did a mistake, and obviously, Max is just waiting for this, Max, don't make a mistake for Max, he will get you,
Charles Leclerc needs to leave Ferrari if he wants to win a WDC.
I go gas. He needs a new challenge. Sometimes change is good.
Isaac Hadjar is going to Red Bull in 2026.
I think he's got a big chance to be in that car next year.
That's impossible. Where would Yuki be in it?
On the streets of Tokyo.
Break! Break!
Hello, Vankahs.
Or should we say what your Italian compatriots would have said at the track the other day? Attenzione, pickpocket! Attenzione, borseggiatrice! Borseggiatrice!
Borseggiatrice. I struggle now to say it, Attenzione, borseggiatrice.
That's right.
Is that what you would have said? Attenzione, borseggiatrice?
If I would see you, yes.
No, Max Verstappen.
No, you.
Pick up. Attenzione, me? Who have I stolen from?
Gentlemen, the episode's just started. Let's not have fighting words already. Ciao, Vankahs. This is Vankah Hours brought to you by BetMGM. We're talking all things Imola. Max Verstappen did pick Oscar Piastri's pocket. He's an Italian kid, despite his Australian accent. We've got so much to discuss on Vankah Hours. Remember, if you're not subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Subscribe right now. We're not going to start this podcast until you do. You have the entire intro song to do it. Let's cue the music.
Subscribe.
No, Fox smash, my God. I'm done the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No, Fox smash, my dog. I've got the fucking Steiner and it's time for...
How would you say subscribe?
Sottoscrivi.
Sottoscrive. You see? Guenther's telling you.
Sottoscrivi. All right.
It's probably more demanding in German. How do we do it in German?
Abonniere dich.
Abonnierde.
Yeah, that's...
Abonnierde.
I'm scared already. I'm doing it right now.
Don't run away, Brian. Stay here. Don't run,
I don't know. I'm scared. This episode's already off to a chaotic start. But you know what? This race was kind of chaos, bringing it back on track. Let's discuss Imola. Should we start with Mr. Max Verstappen, Guenther? People have been sleeping on Max Verstappen. You and I are convinced that one of these McLarens is going to win this WDC. Matt is convinced that we are being absolutely foolish by doing so. Did Imola change your mind at all about Max Verstappen's likelihood of winning this championship?
No, I thought you asked, do you doubt Matt's judgment? Yes, I do. It didn't change. I mean, Oscar said it himself. I mean, he lost the race at the start. He did a mistake, and obviously, Max is just waiting for this. Max, don't make a mistake for Max. He will get you. Max did a fantastic job, and the Red Bull was in the race. It was better than before, but I wouldn't jump to a conclusion that now it's the better car, because look at the second Red Bull. It wasn't as good as Max. It's again the Max factor coming in here. That's my opinion. I think the best car is still the McLaren. McLaren makes a small mistake. Max takes advantage. But
there was a difference this week, wasn't there? Because the Red Bulls with these upgrades actually had pace. In the past, when Max has won these races, it's just been because the track is hard to follow and whatever. From what we're hearing and understanding, this was the first race where the Red Bull is actually on the pace, if not the fastest car on track. Does that not note that might be a difference, a changing of the tides here?
Because Max got Lando at the start and took the lead in Miami, and then Oscar was able to catch him and pass him and open up a huge lead, and that just didn't happen. Is that track specific, or Red Bull brought these upgrades? What does this guy have to do?
A combination. I think the upgrades, obviously, they work, but the McLaren in the race were not as good as normally. So, I wouldn't say that now the McLaren, I wouldn't call it dominance, but the McLaren advantage is reduced, and as soon as Max gets free air, he can be managing his tires properly. So, and then he doesn't. He's very good at that, So, if he's out in front,
he's pretty good at a lot of things. What does he have to do for you to stop doubting him?
Mainly good at driving race cars, Matt. I think Max is good.
Right. But you don't seem to think he's got a chance at this title. Why not? What has he got to do to prove himself to you, Guenther?
In the moment, he hasn't got the best car. So every time he does something, it needs to be him and not the car, while the other ones have got the car which helps them. And maybe you prove me wrong. I mean, Monte Carlo, we will watch qualifying, and then we will see what is happening, let's see what he can do in qualifying in Monte Carlo, because, I mean, we all know that he's very fast there if he gets the pole position. If you get pole position in Monte Carlo, you know what normally happens. Tell me.
You win the race.
Unless you're Leclerc.
No shit, yeah, exactly.
Unless your name is Charles Leclerc. But, okay. It seems like this Red Bull is benefits from high-speed tracks with fast corners. That's where Max has been able to win these races so far this year, have looked very similar. They've been similar kinds of tracks. It will be interesting to see if on a slow corner track like a Monaco, whether that Red Bull has pace. But do you make of any? Because there's been all this kind of talk about what's going on in McLarens in their brake ducts. How are they keeping their tires so cool? How are they keeping their tires so cool? There was the tire water. Zach Brown trolling Christian with the tire water jug at the pit wall. Then they're saying it's a changeable substance. Now they're saying the FIA says that it wasn't illegal, but do you think that there's something going on in the McLaren tire duct that they're maybe being a little bit cautious with now? Do you think that maybe they had to take something out, that they're not going to use their full potential or their full technology with the tires? How do you explain this tire temperature situation at McLaren?
I think McLaren found a better way to with their brake ducts. How they look different. Everybody saw it, and I think Red Bull actually copied some of it. They understood what they are doing and just copied it, because I don't think it was illegal. They are not putting any substance in, as far as I know, McLaren.
Right.
They just found a good way, a different way to cool it, to make it work better, so they can keep the tires cool. And I know that. When we had the shit year in 23, that was the problem with the rear tires overheating. As soon as you get that one, you're nowhere. And if you can do it better than anybody else, that is an advantage, because you just can manage your tires better, or you don't need to manage. You can actually go flat out without managing. And that's what McLaren did a lot. And I think McLaren didn't downgrade, call it this way. I think the other ones upgraded towards the direction what McLaren is doing.
So then I guess that's what brings up this whole question now, which is that if that was maybe one of McLaren's big advantages, that they were able to manage tires, that their tires don't degrade, so that if as that gets smaller, we've seen on Saturday that Max Verstappen and a lot of these cars, that the McLaren advantage it's not a Saturday advantage. It's a Sunday advantage. And so if Max and keep putting in these amazing performances and the tires are more in line with the McLaren tires, who's to say that Max can't, nab this off of them? I think the constructors is in the back.
There is a lot of ifs there. If it is this, if it is that, if it is that. We need to wait until the if is a it,
Wait, hold on. It's if Max does great, which is a pretty safe if.
Yeah,
which he normally is.
Yeah.
And it's if Oscar and Lando make mistakes, which they have done.
Oscar did the first one. Oscar did the first one. In reality, he didn't do a lot of mistakes. He messed at the startup, you know.
But sometimes they don't put it all together in qualifying.
Yeah, absolutely,
sometimes.
yeah. Max
Sometimes.
doesn't always put together, yeah.
And
90%.
if McLaren screws up operationally, which we've seen, did they not fall down on the job in Imola? Did they not? Were they pit Oscar for a two-stop? They brought in Lando. They brought in Lando right before the safety car. The stops were slow. I mean, a lot. You give Max an inch. It's like if they give Max an inch, which it seems like they're more than willing to do. They gave him a couple of inches in this race.
In this race, yeah, but they don't do it all the time. So I think the advantage is still big enough that they can still allow themselves to screw it up. You know, for me still. They need to be beaten. I mean, obviously, they are helping a lot by beating themselves, you know. They're helping Max a lot. I mean, I must admit, you know, between because Lando messes the qualifying up, you know, and then in the race he was pretty fast, you know, I would say.
Right.
But
where do you put, you know, last year this was a discussion around McLaren. Are they really ready to win? Do they have a winner's mentality? Are they going for wins? And then, you know, in Imola, it feels like there was a bunch of things that happened, whether it be bringing in Oscar too early, bringing in Lando too early, the botched pit stops, and then at the end of the day, also maybe not going aggressive enough for these wins. Do you see that, you know, we talked to Zach Brown, we asked him about this specifically. He said, we can make mistakes, we just don't want to make the same mistake twice. Do you see McLaren as making the same mistake twice, 3 times over again?
We need to ask Jacques Villeneuve about that. Yeah. You know what he said? They are weak, you know. No, but it's. I think they shouldn't be making mistakes anymore now, because now, I mean, they should be used to win. And I always say you need to be confident if you want to win a world championship. The first one you need to believe in is yourself, you know. And when you go into a race, I'm going to win. Not I can win if everything goes right. No, I'm going to win. That is the attitude, you know, which it should be if you're a winning team. I think sometimes, as I always continue to tell, and I say it to Zach as well, they are a little bit too humble. Sometimes, you know, you need to be respectful, but not humble, you know. That's my opinion. Because once you get humble, it's like, yeah, it's okay if we don't win because I was humble. At some stage, that is used as an excuse. I don't win because I'm humble. No. I want to win, and that needs to be the attitude. That's what I would do, and I think last year I could understand because they were not used to winning. It was a little bit something new. Wow, we are winning, you know. But now, how the year began is like, yeah, we're gonna win. I mean, every race should be, what are we gonna do today? Gonna win, you know. It's not like, yeah, but I don't know if I win. No, I'm gonna win, and then. Because that gives you the right attitude to go in. So, and it's not arrogance. It's just like confidence, you know. I'm confident I win, you know. That's my opinion. And saying, yeah, but I don't want to be arrogant and humble. Yeah, you can be humble, but still be confident.
Do you buy this narrative that they don't care about the Drivers' Championship and they're really just focused on the Constructors?
No.
Because
no,
you don't buy it?
No, I don't buy it because you want to win. You want to win as much as possible. You cannot not care about the Drivers' Championship because you want that as well. I mean,
Frank Williams didn't care. You know.
Yeah, because he knew if he wins the constructor, if you win the constructors, the drivers comes with it. No, normally, you know. Last year it was an exception because you've got Max in another in a car where there is only one guy which can win with that car. You know, the other one struggled. Therefore, they lost. Yeah. Red Bull lost it, you know. So, but normally, when you are the constructor, I mean, all these guys can say they don't care, but why would you not care?
I don't know.
It's still winning. It's still winning.
Colin Chapman when he sabotaged Emerson Fittipaldi when he was leaving Lotus, and he said, "Screw."
Yeah, but
McLaren, he said,
yeah,
"Screw
exactly.
him."
Different times, but these days, I mean, you want to be seen who won the race.
Yeah,
Lando Norris in a McLaren. They don't want to see Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. We came second and third, you know, and we wanted. No, you want to wins because you want the trophies at home.
Well, now we've got on both of Max's wins, there were opportunities for McLaren to optimize the driver who had the better tires and was on the more advantageous strategy at the end of the race. Both times they haven't done it. In Japan, Oscar had fresher tires. They said, well, get by Lando first. Didn't give Oscar a real chance to get Max. And now in Imola, the reverse happens. So they make Lando pass Oscar on track. Then by that point, Max is already up the road. Now you could say, hey, Max had the pace and they weren't going to get them. But this is where this thing kind of comes into question, where they want to keep both drivers happy. They want to have like the ethos of like we let them we let them figure it out on track and we don't do team orders. But at what point is that maybe getting in the way of McLaren standing on the top?
Very quick.
Yeah.
They need to make a decision of who to support, and if they want to win it, because they need to make it pretty soon. Because as you said, the Red Bull is getting stronger. Max. He is very good. So I think I before thought they will do it after the summer break, but looking at it now, it's as you said. I think in Imola you're right. Could have Lando catched Max, no, but even if he catches him, he couldn't have overtaken him. Max car was too fast to be overtaken.
But there's a more aggressive version of this where you just leave Lando. If let's say Oscar's the number one driver,
you change the strategy completely. Yeah, exactly.
You leave Lando out forever. You wait till Max pits, and then you just leave Lando to block. You keep Oscar. You keep Max in a sandwich. Give Oscar a chance to catch up. I mean, that would be crazy, but that's another
difficult to do in Imola. Yeah, it's another way difficult to do in Imola because obviously if Lando is out with old tires, Max at some stage overtakes him if he had new tires or something.
Right.
So it's like it's difficult to do. But what I agree with is at some stage a decision needs to be taken if you're serious about winning it. Because otherwise you go back and forward, and in the end you end up with them. You're there with empty hands. Right. Who wants that? So it's as you say, they want to keep everybody happy. But if you make an omelette, you need to break some eggs.
You're CEO of McLaren. Okay, Zach's taking a sabbatical. He'll be back, but you're CEO this year. What do you do? What's your plan of action?
I would speak with the drivers and say we need to win this championship. I would tell them and see how they react, and depending on that, I mean, I would support Oscar because he's doing a better job and he's in front, But you need to bring it to them and say, hey, this is what we need to do. This is our target, normally
going to Monaco, you do it at that early.
I would wait. As we said, it needs to be found out how fast is the Red Bull really. How fast is it really? And you cannot wait too long because then it's too late. But Monaco, it's one of these things. It's decided at Monaco. It's decided anyway in qualifying, or it's not decided. 90% possibility that it's decided in qualifying. So it's just like I would give that as a race and say, or give the drivers, tell them after race this, who is in front is going to go for the world championship.
Well, if I'm Lando Norris, I say, why don't we wait until after after Monza, and we can do it. We'll do it in Baku. We'll make the decision then. That's what happened last year.
Yeah,
that's what happened last year.
Yeah, that's what happened last year. But it's the team. You're not asking the driver when to do it. You have the team. You're doing simulations. With the numbers. When do we need to decide not to lose this championship? Basing your simulation on better results for Max and to see what you need to do to win this championship. And that's what I would be doing. And I think it should be in the next. I would do it. In the next few races, not in Monte Carlo because Monte Carlo is, it's out there. But, if Max really has got more speed, you need to work on it.
But this is where, Matt's confidence about Max winning this WDC comes from, which is that, like, McLaren doesn't seem to want to make these kinds of decisions. And if this Red Bull really does have the pace, Max will be there chewing up all of the leftovers that are left by these McLaren boys.
And make Matt very happy.
And make Matt very happy and make
that's the
Guenther
most important thing.
And Brian cry.
Look,
it's not about making me happy. It's all about
making you happy.
It's making you upset and then I get happy off that runoff.
Okay. As long as you're happy, yeah.
Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. Come see what's new at BetMGM. Score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look, same game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. This is an exciting season. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris, who's going to finish? Who's going to win each race? Where's Yuki Tsunoda going to wind up? You can bet on all this with BetMGM, so do it today. Use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, and again, receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See you out there, Vegas.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 for New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 21 and over only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
All right, well, speaking of a roller coaster of emotions, let's talk about Ferrari. Let's talk about the Tifosi, the Scuderia Ferrari. I mean, what a crazy weekend. Getting both knocked out in Q2, then having these, good recovery drives. But, you can't live off of a meal of a bad Saturday and a makeup Sunday. They've been doing this for too many years now. I mean, Lewis is very happy after the race, but what do you make of this, current state of Ferrari?
I don't think they are where they want to be. It's like you clearly said it. I mean, what Aston Martin pulled off to get them out of Q3, it was pretty. Yeah, but they didn't go into Q3. They got them out. Yeah, in Q2, it doesn't matter. Yeah, they didn't make it to Q3. It was well played. And they were out on there, but even if they would have gone in, I don't know which position would have been possible. Maybe 7 and 8. I would say it's possible. But the Williams were clearly faster in qualifying. They were in qualifying. They were clearly faster. So I think the good thing the atmosphere in Imola on Saturday. The Tifosi were. It was a shock. I mean, I think everybody was shocked about this. I mean, they made a lot up on Sunday. I think this car in qualifying just doesn't go. On Sunday, I think they got the best out they could, with the safety car and the virtual safety car. They played that one right. I mean, you must admit, everything went right for them. They didn't leave anything there.
Right, but isn't that a sign that the bar is comically low if Lewis is celebrating? It's like, this is for the Tifosi when he's coming in fourth after in the track named after Ferrari's son. He's coming in front of thousands of Italian fans who've packed in and are pissing in holes in those crappy toilets that I've seen all over the internet. What's up with the toilets in Italy, by the way?
I'm not an expert in that. Sorry, Matt. I mean,
Okay, but what's with the? Okay, but seriously, is the bar too low? Are they Are they just been in an abusive relationship too long that they're happy with fourth?
I think after Saturday, that was the best they could wish for, and therefore they were happy with that one to save dignity. Yes. In my opinion, because on Saturday, I mean, you heard Charles Leclerc apologizing to the fans on Saturday, So I think after that one, it was a happy ending, and I think at least the good thing to see is they didn't give up, the fight on Sunday, because normally when you start 11 and 12th as Ferrari, it's like how you motivate yourself. They thought through it, and in the end they got something out. A few things. I mean, the safety cars work to their advantage, I would say, to move forward, but they got opportunities and they took them, so it's down to them, but under normal circumstances, they wouldn't be happy with fourth, or they wouldn't celebrate. I mean, you're not unhappy about fourth, but it's not worth a celebration normally, because you expect more. But in the end, from where they started Saturday, this was the best they could do, in my opinion. And they did it,
What did you make of Aston's pace in qualifying and even during parts of the race? Because they've been so bad this year, and then all of a sudden they come into Imola and all of a sudden they have pace. What do you make of that?
I think their upgrades work, but I always with the upgrades give it a little bit of time. If they just had, they played the medium tire on Saturday. That helped them. They were very smart about it. But as you say, in the race for a while they were very competitive, and then they got the opposite to Ferrari when the safety car. They both times lost positions, So they stood on their own toes,
Do you think Fernando Alonso he said he's the world's most unluckiest driver. I don't know. He called himself the unluckiest driver. Would you say, given his talent, that he is maybe one of the least lucky drivers ever?
Luck comes and go, and you make your own luck. I wouldn't say that unluck is with him. He had, for sure, he had luck as well. How it worked out in Imola, it wasn't lucky, but. It's one of these things. How many times was he lucky? And he never said that he was lucky. Then if people get lucky, they're always talented, But if they're not good, they say they're unlucky, And obviously the team did not. They cannot influence the safety car. I know that, but it's still it's one of these things. I think that's a little bit exaggerated, They did a good job. They didn't get points this time. So I think what they can take away, if they can get the car in the same form like that in Imola, they can score points now. The car was pretty good, but I wouldn't call him unlucky. I think, he's
lost multiple championships by 1 or 2 points. Unfortunate career decisions.
I was once told you live by your choices, huh?
Speak on it.
You don't believe in bad luck?
Not really. You can be unlucky. You can be on the, but not in inconsistent bad luck. But you've got lucky days and unlucky days, and we are always very quick if something doesn't go your way to say you're unlucky. But if something goes your way, you say, "Oh, I'm very talented." So
there's a very interesting book that I read once called "Surviving the Drive," where the author is always lamenting his horrible luck from one day to the next.
It continues to come, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, are you plugging my book now? Thanks, Matt.
I just remember it's just the author. The author of that book, who I can't remember, seems to disagree with you. He was constantly bitching and moaning about, I qualified really well on Saturday, and then I can't remember his name, but then he was like, and the gods have cursed me on Sunday. What the fuck kind of life am I living? But I can't seem to find the book. Anyway,
you sold it. I guess you sold it.
Yeah, well, it's worth a lot of money in these streets.
Yeah.
Well, I was moving, and I didn't want to carry it, so
you moved again.
Yeah, exactly. I got to keep people guessing. All
right. Let's head over to our favorite segment: gas or brake.
Charles Leclerc needs to leave Ferrari if he wants to win a WDC.
Ooh. I go gas, but not. He needs a new challenge. I think he's there been a long time. Sometimes change is good. Like Lewis left Mercedes to go to Ferrari. I think Charles is like something new because at some stage everything becomes just routine. And he was not in a position to win a championship. So if he maybe goes somewhere else, maybe he gets lucky, as Matt says. You never know.
Right.
But he could be unlucky and go to the wrong team, like Fernando Alonso did. And by the way, he made the choice himself. Oh, I forgot about that. Sorry.
I'm going brake. He bleeds red. That's the color of his blood. It's red. And
what is
nothing
yours?
would be worse. Nothing as much as he must suck. First of all, I don't think he's got a place to go right now. And as much as it must suck to see everyone around him winning, nothing would be worse. There is nothing. When I make decisions, I'm like, what would piss me off the least if it went bad? Nothing would be worse than. Because we've seen the Jean Alesi's and the Villeneuves, the Gilles Villeneuves, I know he passed away, but to never win a Ferrari, there's at least something romantic about that. But to leave Ferrari a little early, and God forbid they win after he's gone or a year or two. That's just unforgivable. I could never live with that. I would just keep playing red on the roulette, even if it hits black every time. Just keep, because then you switch to black and it hits red. How are you feeling then? Pretty fucking stupid.
I am going gas. I think that this boy needs a change of environment. I know that the Tifosi love him. I know it's been a storybook in a lot of ways, but also that routine, the routine that Guenther is talking about. How many races have we heard Charles Leclerc on the radio lamenting every decision? Oh my God, I mean, in qualifying when they didn't make Q3, he said, "My God," 5 times, because you don't say that when it's the first time you're in this position. You say, "My God, we're here again. My God, I'm still with Ferrari. My God, I don't have a championship. My God, what decisions have I made in my entire life?" He needs to go. He needs some new, fresh blood. And I think we'll see. I think it doesn't have to happen now. But I think if he wants that WDC and if he wants to be a driver who can say that he has a championship, I don't think it's happening in red. Next prompt.
Isaac Hadjar is going to Red Bull in 2026.
Gas.
Wow.
He's doing a good job at racing bulls. He's doing a very good job. Yuki still makes mistakes. Yuki need to pull his socks up. Otherwise, he will be gone as well. You know how much controversy to get him in this car was, how long it took. It needed Liam Lawson to fail to get him in there. And Hadjar, I mean, he's just beating Liam Lawson in the Racing Bull. There is no, I mean, it's not even comparable, He's doing a good job, the kid, So I think he has got a big chance to be in that car next year.
But that's impossible. Where would Yuki be in that scenario? Where's Yuki going to go?
On the streets of Tokyo.
Break! No. Okay, Yuki's been doing, aside from this crash, he had a great recovery drive. He's still figuring out the car. He had no preseason testing. He had no preparation. He's still getting to grips with this car. He was looking really good in practice. He was looking really racy. And I think the next couple of races, he's going to turn a corner.
I hope for him. But I have to talk what is now. You're putting hope in here. You're not factual. You're emotional. And if he's
You're
doing
damn
good,
right I'm emotional. You put Yuki on the streets.
Yeah, but
homeless.
In the moment that you asked me
on the streets.
Not homeless. He's all right. Don't worry. He's all right. Yeah, he's all right. But in the moment, the performance is not what it should be. You need to be factual what it is. I'm just like Dr. Marco in the moment.
Perez got knocked out in Q1 on the regular, and he got 3 years. Where's Yuki's 3 years?
I think they learned out of Perez and they make changes now. Obviously, it's not to the advantage of Yuki because you are the biggest Yuki fan, but you need to be factual and fair in the moment. And by the way, did we forget how many races did Max Verstappen win in the same car already? Oh, I don't know.
We don't know it was the same car.
Excuses.
Well,
Ryan,
Yuki,
yeah.
Yes, I think Yuki did have the same upgrades as Max, but then he shunted in qualifying. So they had to use the old car.
And yet he still made a great recovery drive.
Nevertheless, he persisted. Okay, I'm gonna say gas because that's what I think is gonna happen, but it's not what I want to happen. I think that
it's not what I want. I mean, you asked me what is gonna happen, not what you want. It's not what I want.
But you're just putting poison. You're putting poison.
No. I have no vote in it. Matt. I'm just trying to be what is the situation in the moment, what I think will happen. I'm not wishing anything good or bad. I'm just analyzing a situation.
Well,
I'm emotionless.
Yeah, you're a robot. You're AI. We've always said that about you, Guenther. What you said, Guenther, just now about that maybe Red Bull's learned that you don't have to give him 3 years. Well, what they're going to do is potentially put a sophomore, a second-year driver in the Red Bull seat, and we've seen how that's gone down before. At some point, they're gonna need to. It's what's gonna happen if Hadjar keeps doing this and Yuki doesn't turn it around in a way that is like slap you in the face good. There's no way that Helmut Marko is gonna let him drive that car next year. I don't see it happening.
I have a dumb question. Because it almost seems like these cars are so different, the Cash Apps and the Red Bull. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of the credits don't really transfer. Like, all the experience you get driving a racing bull doesn't necessarily translate to driving a Red Bull. Is it almost better to like just make one of these guys a reserve driver for the Red Bull, not even race him? If you want to make him a Red Bull driver, like put him in the reserves, just make him live on the simulator, get him lap time, and forget this junior team in a lot of ways, because it doesn't seem like it's working.
It works in a few instances. It doesn't work consistently. You're right, but Max Verstappen, it worked.
Max, Daniel Ricciardo.
Yeah, there's quite
Vettel.
A few it worked. Vettel, yeah, it works, It's just in the moment. And maybe it works with Hadjar. I mean, I think it's down to the talent of the drivers, which make it work or not.
Right.
Sorry,
but
Matt.
in terms of this, they got this guy Lindblad. Like, maybe you just make him a reserve driver, as opposed to.
Yeah, but as a reserve driver, you don't learn anything, Matt. You're standing around, going to the paddock club, making speeches, So.
Well, I've done that, and it's very rewarding. We've done. What's wrong with that?
I'm ready to drive the car after.
But you are not a driver, exactly. All right, then. I didn't know that you were a reserve driver.
Yeah.
I mean, I respect it.
But it is an interesting point of that. This the Red Bull car is so unique. It seems in its qualities that. Yuki was in the V carb for the first two races, looking like the same Yuki that we've known and loved. Right now, Hadjar is putting in performances that Yuki was putting in last year. So who's to say that he's going to go into that Red Bull seat and it's going to come out any different than it is right now?
But they need to keep on trying. But if Yuki doesn't, I mean, maybe Yuki, pulls it all together, gets used to the car, and has a good result. I don't think this year. I think this year Yuki was 4 years in the Racing Bulls. For Yuki, he needs to go up or he needs to go outside of Red Bull, in my opinion. But I don't think if he doesn't perform that they put him back in the Racing Bull. But why would they? He was there 4 years.
Isn't there a middle ground with Antonelli where they're like they give you a testing program where where you're driving the car that you're
but they do anyway. They do anyway. I mean, all these drivers they do testing programs, simulators while they're doing F3 and F2. I'm sure they will give these drivers opportunity. I mean, Antonelli, it was a long time that Mercedes put everything on Antonelli. Red Bull, I think they spread it out a little bit more. They've got more than one driver. I think that is
right. Well, this seems to maybe be that, but these chickens of that philosophy are maybe coming home to roost, because if you scatter it and you give up, you've got 10 kids and you get 10 minutes with each of them as opposed to 1 or 2 where you can really spend the quality time, then unless you have a Max who really didn't even come up with their junior program, they just gave him the seat, the way that they've nurtured drivers clearly has not worked.
It is not working at the moment. It has worked. Okay.
It worked with who? With Vettel?
Vettel, Danny,
Did Vettel come in truly through the Red Bull racing program?
Vettel came in through. Vettel was one of the early ones.
Yeah, he was. I think he was the first one to come in in the program and was world champion out of that program.
Right. So Vettel.
Danny Rick was there, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But it didn't. It kind of worked out with Danny Rick, not fully.
Yeah, not everybody can be a world champion, but he was pretty good. He won races, You cannot always expect to have the world champion in the program.
Vankah's This Show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Therapy is important, people. You got to get your thoughts out of your head into a room with someone who can be a great sounding board. My life has been vastly improved by therapy, and we here at the Red Flags and Vankah Hours are big supporters of therapy, which is why we've teamed up with BetterHelp. BetterHelp has over 10 years of experience matching people with the right therapist with their diverse network of more than 30,000 licensed therapists from a wide range of specialties. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide. Easily switch therapists anytime at no extra cost. We're all better with help. Visit betterhelp.com/VH to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/VH. See you in therapy, Vankahs. All right. I think they need to change up their stuff. Next prompt.
Kimi won't get a podium this season.
Kimi won't get, so Gas is he won't get it, yeah, Gas. He will not get the podium this season, yeah.
Italian on Italian crime here.
Again, it's factual. I cannot see it happening with the other people around, you know. He's very good, but he's in a rookie year, you know. We need to respect that one. You know, it's like, it's a rookie. It's a learning year for him. He hasn't got the pressure of the podium. It doesn't make him a bad guy. You know, he's doing a very good job. He had the pole position already. You know, but getting onto the podium this year is difficult for George. And George has got a lot of experience. He's very fast. And he had a few of them, you know, but he needs to fight for it. And obviously what we saw in Monza, they were not happy with their car. So for me, in the moment, that's what I see. If you know, I you know, again, no emotions, just
that's right.
AI.
Well, I'm going on fact. This is a fact too. If we got 2 freaking Alpines on the podium last year, we could get the second Mercedes driver on a podium. I'm going brake. There is got to be a world in which
you just want to do the opposite to me. You know, that is what you want to do.
You're a quick study. That's the whole. What kind of podcast is it if we're all agreeing with each other?
But if
all 3 go Gas, is that a great listening experience?
Oh yeah, I mean, because we agree. You know, the 3 wise men agreed. You know, I mean that's
all right. Sorry, let me do that again. I don't think he's going to get a podium. I mean, that's no shade on Antonelli. He's a rookie. He's not supposed to. It's that, you know, there's too much competition around. You know, I'm just echoing what Guenther said. I agree exactly. Ditto.
Well done.
That's much
I am
better.
also going Gas. He will not get a podium this year because there's too much talent in the way. If Kimi Antonelli gets a podium, it means that
too much experience in the way.
It means that there's Lando Norris,
experience in the
Oscar
way,
Piastri, Max Verstappen, George Russell, and these 2 Williams drivers. Charles Leclerc. I think that there's too much standing in Kimi Antonelli's way. I don't think it happens this year. Next prompt, the 3 wise men have spoken.
That for Matt is wearing a T-shirt with 3 on, 3 wise men. I'm sure it is, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
I thought it was Dale Earnhardt, but it's 3 wise men. I got it, you know.
Williams will get their first podium of the season before Ferrari gets another one.
Well, this will be a fun one.
Break. Break.
We already knew that was happening.
It's not going to happen.
They almost got one.
Almost. Almost. You know?
A few things
almost
had to go.
There. Almost there is still not there, you know? Almost.
Do or do not, there is no try, as Yoda once said.
I'm going break. Almost doesn't count. I agree with Guenther.
I am going Gas. Here's the thing. I think it might not happen simply because Charles Leclerc can pull off miracles in Monaco. So I think that Charles Leclerc might get a podium in Monaco. So barring that, excluding Monaco, I think that this Williams car is more hooked up. I think they understand this Williams car in a way that the Ferraris don't understand what's going on with their car. And I think that that driver lineup with that car and the chaos that's happening over at Ferrari is going to spell a Williams podium before Ferrari gets another.
And you forget about the other 6 cars which are in front. The 2 Red Bulls, you just said Yuki will get the podium almost, you know. There are 2 Mercedes. You said Kimi Antonelli should get the podium.
No, I said he shouldn't. I said he won't get one. I said he won't get one.
We've got expert number 3 here, the third wise man.
I think we've had 2 races in a row where they had solid, really, truly
They are very
solid
good,
pace.
yeah. But they are solid pace, but for the podium, anyway. I don't
see Ferrari getting a podium anytime soon either. So that's my point.
No, if they don't, yeah. But it's not between Ferrari and Williams who gets the podium. There's a lot of other cars which want to get the podium.
There's a lot of other cars, Brian. Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up, Brian. Guenther's right.
Yeah, as normally. Say it, man.
Yes, right.
Yes.
As normally.
Next prompt.
Franco Colapinto will be out after 5 races.
Break. He will not be out. Who they put in? I'm not available anymore, so who would Flavio put in,
Break. Guenther's not available. Who are they going to put in? Duh.
I think break as well, but it's just cash. He's just got too much of that sweet green cash. And as many times as he shunts that car and he's going to have damages, they'll pay for it and then some with all the money that he's bringing in.
But isn't it true it's only a 5-race deal? Is that true, Guenther?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
this
know.
is what they. I think it's been said. I think Colapinto's acknowledged it. It's a 5-race thing, and then based off how he does, then they'll maybe continue on with him. But race 1, not a great start for the kid.
No, not.
Assuming it was a 5-race deal, does that mean that Flavio's going to turn his sponsors back upside down?
But now, seriously, I don't know if he's doing that. But who would you put? Who would you put in the Alpine?
Paul Aaron, put Duin back. I mean,
I think to put
seems
somebody
like
Bottas. Maybe you try to get one of these guys off reserve.
Perez. Perez.
Maybe you get
if
Perez.
If you're just trying to get sponsors, what's wrong with Perez?
I think Alpine needs to calm down everything what is happening instead of continuing to make changes, because they don't seem to be working the changes. So, obviously the money, as you say, is important, but I think they would rather have success and less money because Alpine is it's an OEM. It's owned by Renault, a very good profitable company for them to pay themselves for have somebody paying. I think they would rather take success than money. It looks like they are not there with success, but just putting a driver in which brings money, it's convenient, but I think they really believed in Franco. And Franco did a good job last year, the first 3 races in Williams. Then obviously we all know it didn't go this good anymore, and this was not a good start to it. So, but it's changing again. That would put a lot of. Would not make it look good, because what you do like this, all the other people which work at Alpine, that wouldn't, it's never good when you keep on just changing, because nobody wants to go there and work then.
Does changing one of your drivers really upset the culture around them? That much?
It just gives you this unpredictability in a team. You never know. You're not a stable team, It's like we just go by that is why I don't think that they will change after 5 races. It's just too early. I think
right.
I think Colapinto now stays until the end of the year, and what happens next year, who knows? So.
Okay. All right, that does it for Gas or Break. Let's go on to Rockstar and Wanker for Imola. Guenther, who was your Rockstar for Imola?
Max Verstappen again. I think there is no doubt about that one.
Can you talk a little bit about that first move? Yeah, that first pass, where you rank that on like an all-timer?
After what Oscar said that he braked too early, I see it as he was given the opportunity and he took it. It was quite obvious. Performance-wise, it was not one of the things that you say, wow, what did he do here? The other guy, George got stuck behind him because Oscar, he said he braked too early or something like this, So that is what happened. And then Max, it was. I think it was not difficult for Max to pass, and I think Max was surprised as well how easy it was. And then he learned that a Tosca break too early, just underestimated how late he could go in on the relatively cold tires after the start.
Do we see that as Oscar's inexperience a little bit? I mean, he's been so great this year. We've kind of, people want to anoint him as being, the guy. But do you still clearly, maybe there's clearly room left to grow there. He's not quite at the Max Verstappen level.
Absolutely. And I can tell you, Oscar Piastri will not make that mistake again. He learned that, and next year will not happen again. He's one of these guys. I made it because the good thing is he admitted it. Admitting it means I know what is wrong, and he will not make it again. That's for me always. If you admit if you make a mistake, you can fix it. If you don't admit it, because then you don't believe that you made a mistake, and it could happen again. But he has put it away, said, I made a mistake. That's it. He's one of them, in my opinion.
All right, who's your wanker for Imola?
Need some help here. Who is the wanker?
Could be McLaren.
Their strategy muff.
Bad strategy. Ferrari for qualifying poorly.
What about I got a question, Guenther. How many races did you miss in your time at Haas?
None.
Because your friend Toto Wolff was not at Imola.
Yeah,
he was at his son's graduation, which is nice.
He was hanging out with Matt in California,
He FaceTimed into the two drivers before the race to give them words of encouragement.
No, he only gave Antonelli.
He only gave Kimi Antonelli words of encourament, and then left George Russell sitting there waiting for Daddy to say something nice.
I'm sure he used WhatsApp.
I'm sure he did use WhatsApp.
Yeah, Guenther, what's the culture for a normal non-Toto Wolff person for, weddings, funerals, birthdays on the road? Like, what are the allowances?
I mean, Toto doesn't need to ask anybody. I mean,
I know. I understand that. But it doesn't, you don't ever see Christian Horner not at the race, or Fred not at the race. And I'm wondering how much that extends to the rest of the staff. How much stuff gets missed?
I mean, birth, people, even important people, stay at home. Death, if you get to a funeral of somebody close to you, family member, you miss it. But otherwise, you normally go. But I mean, obviously for Toto, it was very important to be at the graduation of his son. And they have a good system in place. I mean, can Mercedes do without him? Sure. Anybody can do without the team principal. I was one, and we are just hanging around doing nothing anyway, So, it's like, we are just like mascots almost, Because in the end, as a team principal, if you did your job right, you're not needed at the racetrack anymore. That's nobody would come and tell you to make a decision how to set the car up, or nobody would ask Toto. You need to be there to represent the team. But if you have got a reason, a good reason, you say, I've done it enough. I covered. He sends out Bradley Law to represent him. Simone Resta was there. So there was good people there. And I can imagine that Toto was in contact with them, because when the graduation was, for sure, or when the race was, there was no graduation because of the time difference. So I don't think he missed out on anything. If there was necessity to decide something, you're just not there to represent it. So I don't. Obviously, I think it looks worse than it actually is, not having the team principal there. I mean, Mattia I think at Ferrari, he didn't go to some of the races.
Right,
well,
didn't he
stay back at the and a lot of the times he was back at the factory doing other stuff, right?
Yeah. Normally, Mattia, when he wasn't at the racetrack, he was at the factory in the control center. Yeah, but Toto cannot get fired, Brian, because he owns the gig.
Of course, but it kind of begs the question of if you're gonna miss, are you
committed?
The job?
Are you committed?
It's you can still own Mercedes and be a behind the scenes guy, but if it just feels like that a graduation would not be allotted to a pit crew member, would not be allotted to an engineer, strategist, and he gets to go. I just says like, does he is his head fully in the game? And they had a bad week. It was bad.
But that was not because Toto was missing. Don't worry.
I know, but you have a bad week,
but he's missed other ones. I remember he had to call in. He had to call in one time when Lewis and George were fighting, and he had to call in from wherever he was in Monaco, being like, George, Lewis, cut it out. And it was just he had the elective surgery. I mean, look, we know he's your friend, and he wrote the foreword to
the best book in the world.
The best book in the world.
Exactly.
We appreciate
right.
Focus.
He took
time away from his team principal duties to do this very important job.
Exactly.
So we appreciate that. But
So back to
if he's not your wanker of the week, who is, Guenther? Yeah, I think you know who Matt and our wanker of the week is, but he's clearly not yours. So who's yours?
I think I got that message. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I got that message. Yeah, I'm not this dumb. Yeah.
My parents went to my graduation. You know what they said? You couldn't have made honors. I was like, you could have stayed at home. Okay, so
who do you have as wanker, Guenther?
Oh, who do we have? How did the Alpines do?
They could be wankers. I mean, once again, Pierre made it into Q3. He went off the track and lost points again.
Yeah, in a battle which he couldn't win. Who was he battling with? With the
Charles Leclerc.
With the Ferrari. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's like, dude. I mean, you need to be realistic what you can do and what not. And at least don't throw the points away.
It's crazy how many times he's made it into Q3 and they only have 7 points.
Alpine, who else was
Alpine
there?
a little too big for their britches. They keep going for home runs, and it's just like, get a couple singles, guys. Just P9, P10.
Yeah, Alpine is a good candidate.
Yeah, today we don't have a really good but nobody really fucked it up, But
sure. Let's say Alpine.
Let's reward Alpine with the Wanker prize. Yeah,
they've had the team principal troubles.
Yeah, exactly. All the drama. Yeah,
all the drama. They replaced their driver. Their new driver crashed, and then they blew it. They blew their good start.
Yes,
and, Pierre blew his good start.
Great. Speaking of team principals and the dynamics therein, in Imola they had a team principal dinner. These dinners have become famous now.
Guess who wasn't there?
Toto Wolff.
Wow.
Honestly, maybe that's why he didn't want to come to Imola, because he hates going to these fucking dinners. Maybe that's why he didn't want to be there in the first place.
Maybe he didn't want to sit with the other ones. Yeah. But maybe, you never know how people are,
And I think since you've been gone, he doesn't want to be at these dinners because he wanted to hang out with
because
you.
Yes, nobody there to hang out with. Yeah.
Guenther, can you tell us what the vibe is at these team principal dinners?
It's a thing, Stefano. That Stefano is from Imola, so therefore he does it there because it's his hometown. So he invites everybody in his hometown for dinner. It's like a. When I come to New York, you need to invite me for dinner, basically, and when I come to Los Angeles, Matt, it's your turn. If you come my way, I will not be there. So anyway, no, that is how it started. Stefano wanted, it's a very nice restaurant, very famous restaurant, very old restaurant. So very good restaurant. Now enough of the restaurant. They're plugging the restaurant, it was just like he thought it was something nice, and it became, I think, just standard. When you go to Imola, Stefano invites the team principals into and he pays for it, or Liberty Media pays, I would say.
Who does the most talking at the table?
The new guys, I wasn't there with the new guys, but I would guess James Vowles, because he always talks, So, I think he's doing the biggest talking. But no, I don't really know. I mean, it's normally quite a good event, because everybody is relaxed about it in there. So it's pretty good to go there.
Any toasts? Any good toasts?
No, it's just like normal dose, Oh, Formula One, long live Formula One, Yeah.
So it sounds like it's nice and beautifully awkward, which is what we want.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's even awkward. It's a nice dinner, but nothing too outrageous, Nobody gets really drunk, well behaved, everybody,
Even in 2021, Toto and Christian are well behaved.
Yeah, we're well behaved. Yeah. Good boys,
Good
Maybe
boys,
because
good
Netflix
boys.
wasn't there. So.
That's right. All right, we'll go on to our fan questions. This is from Charlie Bucket. What's your most recently played song, Guenther? What have you been listening to while you're on tour?
I don't know. I didn't put on anything. I just listened to the radios in Italy at the radio station. I don't even know what I listen to. I just switch a radio station on and leave it on there when I drive.
Okay.
Disney partnered with Formula One.
Yeah.
This just happened.
Yes.
I read.
Disney,
Yeah.
Favorite Disney movie, go.
Again, you always try get the ignorance out of me. I'm not a film guy like you guys,
Okay, I'm going to name some, okay?
Yeah,
Lion
exactly.
King,
Yeah.
Lion King.
Oh, I love the Lion King. I love the songs there, yeah? I love the songs there, yeah.
Are you fucking with me?
No, I'm not.
What's your favorite Lion King song?
The famous one. What is it? Brian can sing it. Jeez,
No, I have no idea. I need you to sing it. I don't remember any of the songs.
You need to start.
Circle
it.
of Life? It's
I
the
don't know what it's called.
Circle of Life.
No.
I just can't wait to be king.
Wait to be king.
That's Guenther. Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, Hakuna Matata. Yeah. Yeah.
Hakuna Matata.
Let's hear a little bit of it, Guenther.
Oh, no, I cannot sing it. No chance that I sing.
Matata.
You know what Hakuna Matata means?
Means
no worries.
Yeah, no
for the
worries.
rest of
Yeah,
your
exactly.
days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've been living. It feels like you've been living the Hakuna Matata life since leaving Formula One, Guenther.
Yeah.
I lived it before as well. I was pretty happy, in life.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection. Okay. Monaco's coming
Brian,
up.
can you feel the love tonight? Okay.
Monaco is coming up. Who do you have? We need your predictions. What do you think is going to happen in the Principality?
In the Principality of Monaco, what will happen? Oh, it's always difficult to predict there because there's some random stuff can happen, I think Charles Leclerc will put on a good show there. Mm-hmm. Charles will, prove you guys wrong. You want him to leave Ferrari. You say Ferrari is not good. I forgot about that. I know I said that. That's why I just want to see if you follow what I say. No,
that's right.
I think Charles will be strong there because he's strong. Max and Oscar.
Okay. All right. You heard it.
It might be wet. Do you think that changes anything?
Same predict. No, nothing. Same thing. Same thing.
Matt?
I'm going Max, Charles, Oscar.
Max, Charles, Oscar. Okay. And I am going Oscar winning, then Max, then Lando. I don't think that the Ferrari is going to have it. Okay, that does it for Vankah Hours. But before we go, Guenther, we gotta know. We've been seeing you rocking your Pelote shoes all over the town, and I think so. Tell me, have you been getting a bunch of compliments on your Pelotes?
Yeah, I got a few compliments on my Pelote. I'm wearing them all the time now, so nobody sees them. I need a new pair, So
I agree. I think you do need a new pair. So I feel like we should look at the website and we should figure out what your next pair is going to be, Guenther.
Correct. Yeah.
So we got the Pelote website here. So we're going to go through the shoes here. Let's go to their best sellers.
The blue ones I like. What are the blue ones?
Okay, so you have... Hold on, let me make this.
No, I have the left ones in brown. The compass
so you've got the
brown.
compass. You've got the compass. You got them in brown. These ones you're already rocking.
Yeah.
But we got the shifts over here, maybe a little bit more cash. And if you want to go middle ground, then I feel like you go with the Avenue because you've got that leather aspect of it, but it's still
but a different color
more...
I need. A different color I need. I don't want brown.
Well, they've also got them in black there. I mean, look how fresh is that, Guenther?
Try to shift the other colors, please.
Okay, let's see.
Yes.
Let's see. They've got
the middle ones were nice. The middle ones were nice.
We'll go. They've got a bunch of different colors. If you really want to be showing, look at this, Guenther. If you want to, make sure
that's too bright for me. That is
Lawrence
that's almost papaya.
Will make him jealous.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll show Zach Brown that you mean business. They've got them in green. They've got them in black. They've got it in the leather with the white here.
Yeah.
The blue. You said you liked the blue. Is this your next pair?
Yeah, I like the blue. Yeah.
Okay, Guenther's rocking the shift. Look at that. It's on discount. You get it at final sale. Only in size 7. We know you got bigger feet than that. I'm sure they've got plenty in stock. Well, Pelote shoes are built for performance on and off track, and they're designed for heel-toe shifting, all-day comfort, and automotive-inspired style. A shoe for every fan, from your shift driving shoe to the Icona lifestyle sneaker. They've got something for the diehard racer and the casual enthusiast alike. And you can go to pelote.com/discount/Vankah and use the code Vankah, VANKAH, for an extra 15% off of your order. Once again, that is pelote.com/discount/Vankah, singular. Get your sexy shoes and you can look cool like one and only Guenther Steiner. Okay, fellas. That does it. Subscribe.
Goodbye, wankers.
Goodbye, Vegas.
Ciao, Vegas.
Ciao, wankers.